Hello, my name is Polonius Ficklebottom, and this right here is a fable I wrote about dealing with loss in a relationship when you feel like everything was perfect and everything that could go right went right, but in the end you find out that it just wasn't meant to be. So this story is called The Caterpillar and the Centipede. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in the days when animals could talk, there lived a centipede. Now this centipede was long and he had many legs, and he was known to scurry about the forest floor, here and there, darting back and forth between the leaves and the sticks and the stones that lay on the ground. Although he kept a busy schedule of finding food and keeping his antennae clean, he had his eye on a caterpillar who lived nearby. Every day he would scurry about, but make sure that he was careful to always be present whenever she was near. He made sure that she took note of his shiny backside and his many legs, and he was proud of his appearance. And one day, he finally mustered up the courage to go and talk to her. And he said, "My dear caterpillar, ever since the day I saw you, I could not take my eyes off of you. I have thought about you, and I have dreamed about you. And I was wondering if you would like to join me in a walk along the forest floor." And the caterpillar looked at him and she said, "My dearest centipede, you do realize that we are of two different species?" And the centipede looked at her and he said, Yes, this is true, my dear caterpillar, but look at us. We both have many legs, and both of us scurry along the floor of the forest. I believe we have much in common. I believe that you and I could be something great. And it would fill my little heart with such joy to have you walking by my side with your many legs. And so the caterpillar, though hesitant at first, accepted his proposal, and together they were seen scurrying along the floor of the forest. Day in and day out they spent much time together. They ate together, they walked, and they sang, and they talked, and they pondered, and they discussed the issues of the forest. Many noted that they were almost inseparable, and some did question how they could make it work when they were from two different species. But their relationship endured. But one day, the centipede woke up and saw that the caterpillar was nowhere to be found. At first he thought nothing of this, and he went about his business. But as the day wore on, he noticed that he had still not seen her. And so, he decided he must find her. And he hurried about, and he looked under the leaves, and he looked in the tall grass, and he looked at the highest branches, and climbed the highest trees. Yet still he could not find her. And he called out to her again and again, "Caterpillar, caterpillar, where are you?" And he asked the ants if they had seen her, and he asked the birds, and he asked the bees, and he asked the beetles. All the creatures of the forest he would ask. Yet still he could not find her, and it was midday by now, and he was becoming quite afraid. And he called out to her more, "Caterpillar, caterpillar, where have you gone?" And just when he was about to give up, he heard a voice from above. "Centipede! Centipede, it is me!" Centipede paused for a minute and then looked up, startled. But he did not see Caterpillar. He saw something else. It was her voice, but not quite her. For where she was once long like him and the keeper of many legs like him, these legs were gone, as was her long body and her green color, which he had become so fond of. And in its place were two giant wings that seemed to stretch out from her body in brilliant colors that would make the fairest of flowers in the field wilt and sway with envy. And he looked at her and he said, "Caterpillar, is that you?" And she said, "Yes, Centipede, it is me." And Centipede said, "Oh, I'm so happy, Caterpillar. I was worried, but now that you are here again, I am happy. I am so happy that I have found you." Alas, Caterpillar answered back, "My dearest Centipede, I am happy to see you too, but I also have to say that you and I cannot be together anymore." And Centipede raised his antennae, and his eyes stared at her, and they became shiny in the light. And he said, "Caterpillar, was it something I said? Was it something I did? I'm sorry if I said something, or if I did something." But Caterpillar said, "No, no, my dearest Centipede, you said nothing wrong and you did nothing wrong. In fact, I cherished every moment we had together." And Centipede said, "Well, then why? Why are you leaving me?" And Caterpillar said, "Centipede, if you can see now, I no longer have many legs to walk upon the ground. I no longer have my color of green that would camouflage me among the leaves and the grass. I cannot live with you on the ground anymore. It is not safe for me. I know there was a time where we had many things in common, where once I had many legs like you, I now have few. And where you have a shiny armor to protect you, I have wings. And with all these changes, I'm afraid that my feelings have changed as well. I'm sorry." And Centipede looked up, his eyes still watering, and he watched as she flew away into the late evening sun. And he watched her silhouette as she disappeared over the flowers, over the meadow, and out of his life. This tale is to remind you that sometimes, even when things seem to be going right, even when things appear perfect, even when it feels like it was meant to be, and just when you feel like you've reached your highest point, it all comes crashing down, you must remember, love comes and goes. And sometimes things don't work out the way you thought they would. But you have to remember that even when love leaves you, you are still loved. And though you may not understand it, and though it may seem unfair, you must not be sad, because love can exist even when two people are apart. Because when somebody leaves you, I promise they will always take a piece of you. As in, they will always remember you. And they will take what they have learned from you, and it will make them a better person. And you will take what you have learned from them, and it will make you a better person. And you will both be stronger. And I promise that one day you will both find what you were looking for.